Let me share 7 adventures for you to consider for your next trip to Cuyahoga Valley National Park. A 3-day backpacking trip with 50 plus miles of hiking. What better way to see the park than an extended trek and 3 overnight stays? I put together a route which you can see in the description below, which uses natural surface hiking and bridle trails with some time on the towpath and the Summit Bike and Hike Trail to make connections. There's only around 2 total miles of walking next to a road. You'll get to see waterfalls and scenic overlooks, 40-foot tall ledges, beautiful dense forest and evergreen groves. You'll cross creeks and travel past lakes and ponds. And you'll get your boots dirty. You'll have to go through some mud and some puddles sometimes. It's all part of the adventure. And there are multiple places to stay that you can choose from. My idea would be to stay your first night at the Cleveland Metro Parks backcountry campsites at Ottawa Overlook, the second night at the Inn at Brandywine Falls or Stanford House, and the third night circling back to Peninsula and staying at Heritage Farms. Whether you're a skilled backpacker training for your next long-distance trek, or you just want to do something you've never done before, this is an incredible way to see the park and enjoy nature. Mountain biking at the East Rim Trails is a workout. If you have some experience on a mountain bike, this is an awesome way to get out into nature. You're flying through the forest on natural surface trail. There's East Rim Trail and Lamb Loop, which total 7 miles. There's also an advanced downhill trail called Edson Run. And these are not beginner friendly, so if you're just starting off, you could also go to the Bedford Single Track, which is nearly 10 miles of mountain bike trail. Or at the southern end of the park, there's a growing collection of mountain bike track at Hampton Hills. Kayaking on the Cuyahoga River and riding the train back to where you started. This is an escape because so much of the river is undeveloped. You're paddling through the forest for miles and it's really refreshing. I put in at Peninsula and paddled north. You could kayak for 16 miles to the north end of the park, and then when you're done, put your kayak on the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad and ride all the way back to Peninsula. At the time of this video, there isn't kayak rental inside the park, but River Cruiser Kayaking in Cleveland will rent you a kayak that you can bring into the park and have this adventure. Now that the Brecksville Dam has been removed, you can keep paddling all the way through to Lock 39 in Valley View, or all the way up to Cleveland if you want. A night bike ride on the Towpath Trail is one of the most unique experiences I've ever had at Cuyahoga Valley National Park. The towpath is open 24 hours a day. You can ride at night with just the moonlight and your headlamp to guide your way. You hear sounds of birds, bugs, and frogs that you don't hear during the day. I really enjoyed Century Cycles' night ride, which involves dozens of cyclists and is a really great organized ride. Check their website to see when the next one will be happening. This bike ride is an adventure because you can ride from Peninsula all the way to Brandywine Falls and hike the Gorge Trail when you get there. One of the unique parts of this trip is riding your bike on closed roads through remote parts of the park. The National Park does allow cyclists to do this as long as you don't ride on the hiking trails. You'll get some exercise going up the hill on the old Stanford Road, but it's followed by a fun decline. The old road is crumbling, so you may have to walk your bike a little. When you get to the trailhead, you can park your bike, head down the huge wooden staircase, and admire the 65-foot tall Brandywine Falls. And when you're ready, keep hiking the 1.5-mile Gorge Trail that makes a loop around the waterfall. This is an enjoyable hike with some elevation change and views of the creek and a few nice places to stop and rest. Check out my map below for another closed road you can bike back to Peninsula. One of the best ways to experience Cuyahoga Valley National Park is by bike. You can take a fantastic 40-mile out and back ride starting at either Rockside Station or Boatsum. If you can find a way to do this on a weekday, it'll be a lot less crowded. Through most of the trip, you're going to be surrounded by trees and following the Cuyahoga River. I like stopping at Trail Mix Park Store in Peninsula for snacks and a refreshing drink. For bike rental options, I put a couple of links in the description below. If you live in Northeast Ohio and have never done this, you've got to experience it. If you're looking for a shorter adventure, how about a 2.5-mile out and back hike to Blue Hen Falls? From the Boston Mill Visitor Center, cross Riverview Road, and follow the trail up the hill. There's some nice elevation change, including a staircase with more than 80 steps. You'll cross the creek a couple of times and come to the beautiful 15-foot tall Blue Hen Falls tucked away in the woods. If it's a dry time in the summer, the falls might just be a trickle, but this hike is always worth it. This is just the beginning of the types of things you can do at Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Here are some more videos about things to do here, and we'd love to see your ideas in the comments below for more adventures. Thank you so much for watching.